All right, how we doing, everyone? Trevor here. Another Sunday. Not really going to be necessarily a Sunday tip. I guess it's a tip, but not really like I guess, kind of a habit. But it is more just so speaking. I want to speak about like how everyone and all we want to get is the minimal effective dose, the minimal amount of training, the minimal amount of whatever. We want to do the least amount of work to get to where we want to be, whether that's work or the 4 hour work week. That kind of a book I read in the past about. And yeah, I don't want to work 80 hours a week all the time, just especially at something I don't like. I used to do that, working long hours on jobs I hated, or whether it's training or whatever. Everyone wants to do the least amount, get the least amount, and like kind of the studies show that, and this is what we're going to talk about, the least amount for training. And what they say, like 30 minutes 3 times a week is what you need, is all you need. All you need for what? Just to be somewhat average. That's below average, I think. If you really look at that, 30 minutes 3 times a week, that is an hour and a half of activity, of exercise, of training, of working out, whatever you want to call it. There is 24 hours in a day, and you're only working out 30 minutes. That is ridiculous. So what? 24. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what, 168 hours in a week. And you're working out 1.5 of those hours. Let's just let that sink in. That is not enough. Sure, 30 minutes 3 times a week might be good for, yeah, if you just want to say you did something, to say you are meeting the minimal requirements of activity level for, I don't know, whatever, adults, whatever they want to call it. That's just not enough, especially if you to be athletic for life, to be an everlasting athlete. An hour and a half a week is not enough time for exercise, of being active. You should try. I mean, you should be active. My goal for everyone that I work with is to do something active every day. Now, does that have to mean intense training? No, because that's not smart if you're just going balls to the wall all the time. It could just mean a nice walk, a couple walks. It could mean playing with the kids, going to the park. It could just mean going for a bike ride, going for a hike, playing basketball, playing pickleball, playing tennis, playing baseball. Whatever it is you like to do, it can be that. But an hour and a half a week is, I'm doing the math now, 1.5 divided by 168 is, so that's 0.0089. That's the a percentage of time you're active. That's not enough. Let's be honest, because most people don't have active jobs. They're sitting on a desk all day at their office or at home now with remote work. Like I'm sitting here right now. This is what they're doing. This is all they're doing all day. And a half hour, 3 times a week, it is not enough. I'm sorry. That's sad. That is just what our society has become. That we we can be proud of. You're active 30 minutes a day, 3 times a week. Yeah, no. 30 minutes a day, maybe that's a little bit better. And maybe 30 minutes 3 times a week starting out, that could be good. You haven't done anything for a long time? Yeah, start there and move forward. But working out 3 times, I don't even think working out 3 times a week is enough. I think you should do something, again, find something to do. If it's resistance training, maybe it's 3 times a week, 4 times a week, 5 times a week, you're doing that. And then maybe you're walking every single day. You're building up to this stuff. This is not, like I said, you can start starting there, that's fine, but build up. The goal should not be to do the least, especially when the least is 90 minutes a week. When there's 168 hours in a week, if my math is right. 24 hours a day. Yes, you should be sleeping 7 to 10 hours of those hours. You're probably working 8 hours or whatever it may be, and some of you probably got active jobs, construction, labor, those types of things, and that's great. And that's better than just sitting around doing nothing. That can count for your activity, but you should have a dedicated time to working out, to training, and it shouldn't just be 30 minutes 3 times a week. If you want to be the everlasting athlete, you want to be strong, you want to be fast, you want to look good, you want to feel good, you want to move like a human being and not a robot. You want to be able to do all the things in life you love, play with the kids, play with the grandkids, play sports that you still enjoy as you get older, climb the stairs, get off the toilet, tie your shoes without blowing out your back, carrying all the groceries in one trip, moving the furniture, cleaning the house, mowing the yard, whatever it may be. You should be able to do all that stuff. And just 3 times a week for 30 minutes is not enough. It is not enough. It's just what we have come to as a society of trying to do the least amount of work to get the most results. It's like all the shortcuts we try to take with all the GLP-1s and the TRT and steroids and all these peptides and all this other stuff. We're trying to get the quickest results without doing any work. And yes, I can see how some of that stuff can want to get rid of, like in work. You're trying to automate some tasks and stuff like that. Take some of that stuff off your hands. But when it comes to training and working out, that's not the case. Yeah, we don't need to be doing hours and hours and hours of stuff, but you need to do some hard work. You need to do some challenging things. And you need to move your body a lot and often. So I think it is more important to, if you want to be athletic for life, is to move your body every day. Again, meet yourself where you are. Work to where you want to be. But yeah, you don't need to be training 5 hours a day. Maybe if you're a pro athlete, yeah, you can afford that. Most people can't because we have jobs and we have a life and you have kids and you have other responsibilities, so you can't train 5 hours a day. That'd be nice, but it's just not feasible, and it's probably not the best either. But neither is 30 minutes 3 times a week. You got to find what works for you, what fits your lifestyle. Maybe that's an hour 4 times a week of good solid training, and then you're moving your body on those other days. You're going for 10-minute walk here and there, 10-minute mobility session when you get up, 10 minutes of mobility when you go to bed, 5 minutes of hopping every day, whatever it may be. Find time to move your body, but you need to be active more than 90 minutes a week because that's just not going to get it done. You're still probably, that's probably better than a lot of people because a lot of people don't move, but it's not what is required to be athletic for life. Again, I think everyone should be working to move in their body every day. Because I have found through myself as my own personal experience and experiment and with clients that doing something every day, even if it's just walking, is going to make you feel better. You're going to have less aches and pains. You're going to move better. You're going to look better. You're going to be in a better mood because your body is ready to take on these things. Your body is feeling in like that sense of accomplishment too, but just movement is medicine. It makes you, like, if you just sit around all day, you probably notice, then you get up off the chair. Like, I'll get out of this, and I'll probably be like, my knees or my hips or my back ache because I don't move. I'm sitting here for 10, 15, 20 minutes doing nothing. And if you do that all the time, it probably just feels normal to you. And that shouldn't be normal. That should be something you want to change. And that minimal effective dose. No, just find the optimal dose that is effective, that's for your lifestyle. For some, it might be 4 good training sessions a week. Some might be 5. Some might be doing something every day, like I said. But you gotta find. But most people can afford to do more than 30 minutes 3 times a week. That doesn't mean it doesn't have to be straight 30-minute session. It doesn't have to be a straight hour session either. You can break it up to multiple sessions a day. A 10-minute walk after every meal. A 20-minute workout in there. That's 50 minutes of workout, 50 minutes of activity in a day. That's more than you get in a week. Almost just doing that 3 times 30. So find what works for you, but don't just settle for the minimal 30 minutes 3 times a week, because that's not enough. Yeah, it might be a great starting point, but build off that. 30 minutes every day. Even like the Play 60 thing the NFL used to run for kids. 60 minutes is not enough activity for kids. It's probably not enough for adults either. I don't think so. I think it should be a couple hours a day. You should be active. And again, active does not mean just a dedicated strength training workout or a sprint session or cardio or conditioning. It could just mean, again, walking, playing with the kids, walking the dog, getting outside and just doing chores. There's so many ways to be active, but we're just so lazy as a society and always just looking for the least amount of something we can do, the minimal amount of something we can do. And a lot of it stems from just kind of the working aspect of like that 4-hour work week, or which can be good if that's what you want, like if you hate your job. But yeah, it's good to work less and make money. I think that's kind of a different aspect. But when it comes to your body and moving your body, I think that's a whole different thing. You need to work on it daily to get you where you want to be. That does, and I can't say it enough. It doesn't mean you're just going all out, balls to the wall all the time, because that's probably just as bad as not doing anything, because you're just going to beat yourself down and grind yourself to a pulp and be injured or sick or just feel like crap all the time. Same as if you're not doing anything. But you got to find what works for you. And that doesn't have to be the same all the time. It can change throughout the year, throughout the month, throughout the week, and kind of adapt as your body adapts. And vary it, intensity. Some days are higher intensity, some are lower intensity, some are just moving. Some days you're sprinting hard. Some days you're lifting heavy. Some days you're just focusing on movement or yoga type stuff, or just walking. So, but it all comes back to just not following the standards, because the standards are so low, especially when it comes to fitness and health in our world, and mainly in the United States. Like, people can't do push-ups, people can't do pull-ups, people can't walk up the stairs without breaking a sweat or huffing and puffing, or don't have a resting heart rate that's below 60, can't keep their hands off junk food and all this stuff. So our standards are so low, and that's kind of why I think they set these. And just look at the people that are in charge, like the people who make like nutrition, the health organization is, like, last I saw was run by like just fat people, and people who, the doctors and stuff, are probably out of shape to make up these requirements, or I don't even know what to call them, but the minimal, the 3 times 30 minutes, whoever's making these up probably just is not in shape either. So, like, you got to look at where these studies, these requirements are coming from, and the people in charge, because they're probably not in shape. They're probably not in good health either. They're just making this stuff up to make them feel good. And I think a lot of this stuff is set out, these minimal requirements, is to make you feel good. But you know what's really going to make you feel good is when you're active. You are moving your body every day. You're finding something you enjoy doing, some form of exercise, getting the kids out, setting an example for them, playing with the grandkids, going out and getting some sunshine, getting some fresh air, walking the dogs, or I've even seen people walking cats. I saw a lady the other day out walking with a backpack with a rabbit in the backpack that had like some, I don't know, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It was a backpack with like a rabbit, like, I think it had holes in it so it could breathe or whatever. Well, actually, that's not the weirdest thing. The weirdest thing I saw was people see them every once in a while. They have a stroller, but they put their dogs in a stroller. like a baby stroller, and they have their dogs in the stroller. Their dogs aren't walking; their dogs are in the stroller. The people are walking, which is good, but the dogs aren't walking. I don't. This is weird, but so yeah, rabbit in a backpack, dogs in a stroller. We even have people that live here that walk a turtle, which is kind of cool actually. A big old tortoise. They don't like they let the tortoise walk, and they just walk behind it, which is obviously the tortoise is, yeah, the tortoise and the hare. The tortoise isn't, I think it's a tortoise, just a giant turtle, but not very fast at walking. So kind of cool actually seeing that. So find whatever it is that needs to get you active. Again, it doesn't have to be lifting weights. Lifting weights is great. You should be doing it in some form. Sprinting, again, training athletic. That's the way I like to train. That's for me. Sprinting, jumping, rolling, crawling, lifting, throwing, kicking, jumping, hopping, skipping, all the fun athletic stuff, playing sports. But it could be yoga. It could be walking your tortoise, walking your rabbit, pushing your dogs in a stroller, whatever it is. Find what you enjoy. Find what works for you. But again, if you want to be athletic for life, if you want to be that everlasting athlete, you need to be doing athletic stuff. And you need to be moving your body daily. Sometimes it's just walks, and then sometimes it's high intensity sprint days, heavy lifting days, those types of things. If you want more on that, reach out. We'll get you set up on a plan. You can join one of our plans. Join me for my everlasting coaching program too, one-on-one. We can do that, or the group. We can get you on that. So just reach out, drop a comment below, or send me an email, trevor@tagpn.com, because I think that's truly the best way to train. But it's not just training. It is dialing in your nutrition, figuring out your habits, dialing in your sleep, and just getting you kind of operating in the highest percentile that you can, get your operating system upgraded, and have you moving, feeling, looking, performing at your best in the gym, at work, and in just your everyday family life. That's what it's all about here with Tag Performance and Nutrition. And that 3 times a week, 30 minutes a week, or 30 minutes 3 times a week is not enough to be an everlasting athlete. It's not enough to be athletic for life. So if you want to build off that, it's a nice starting point. But let's build off that and get you building that active lifestyle. And if you need help with that, reach out. I'm here for you. I'm here to help you upgrade your life and upgrade your character, your video game character, which you can pretend your body is, or you treat your life like a video game, and you're upgrading your skills, your attributes, and all that good stuff, and get yourself and start leveling up your life. I'm here for you. Reach out if you want to do that. But other than that, don't just settle for all these minimal requirements. There's more to it. Life is better when you are doing more, especially when it comes to moving your body and being active. So hopefully that helps, guys. If you have any questions or comments, drop them below. And thanks for watching, and be athletic for life.